When did you realize your best friend wasn't really your friend? When I opened a drawer in her house and recognized my jewelry, trinkets, I looked at it all, took back my mother's ring, and left. 3 years this person stole from me. I was her only friend. I'll never understand it. Basically same thing happened to me. Saw the very distinct bracelet my mom got me for Christmas and the pair of earrings my sister got one of her friends as a gift that went missing before she could give them to her out in the open in her bedroom. It wasn't the first time either, but it was definitely the last. I too was her only friend. When I asked her to be my maid of honor, and she left the care package I made for her when she was sick in the hospital a few weeks back on my doorstep in a box, and stopped returning my texts and calls. She reached out a couple years later, and I asked why she ended the friendship the way she did, and her response was she was just being a dick. We are still not friends. Can't blame you in the slightest. Being a dick is not an excuse to cut someone off. I guess she resented me and the relationship I had with my now husband, but instead of talking to me about how she felt, she just dumped me. It really screwed me up and kinda ruined how I interact with my friends now. Everyone is arm's length, and I don't open up at all to them, and I'm constantly worried I'm a bad friend. I'm glad we're not friends anymore. I don't need that in my life. That's honestly so tough to read, but so true how one bad view on something can really mess up your whole view on that topic, especially in relationships. Can't tell you that one firsthand too, but please know people will be friends with you for a reason, not just because it's convenient and you are loved. Hope you're super happy and get all you ever wanted. Thank you. I'm trying. I also have a narcissist mom, so there's a little more baggage that lends to my feelings. But every day I'm alive, and I'm trying my best. I'm in school full time, so I've become really isolated. But I'm hoping by the end of next year I'll get back to being in a good headspace. Exactly. Take from the positives and you'll be even stronger from it. It's been a mad year, that's all I'll say, but take care of yourself and your husband above everything else. That's the best thing to do in tough times. When I realized that there is not necessarily a correlation between oldest friend and best friend. Same. I just realized our lives went in different directions, and that's okay. My whole friend group, they never really talked to me, unless they needed something like homework and etc. Took a while to realize. Too long even. But, as much as it hurts, it was unfortunately the best option I had at the time. See, I have a group of friends where we hang out sometimes, but I'm always the go-to one for homework help. I don't know if they're using me or not, because I tend to get paranoid about this type of stuff. In my friend group we're all pretty smart, but one of us is very smart. Has the homework friend, but we still love to hang out with him, and we don't use him for answers or anything. Has just a smart kid who plans on being a teacher after college. When I received screenshots of a post in a social media group bashing me and saying truly horrible things, the person who sent them was a random stranger who said they looked on my then best friend's social media account and figured the post and comments had to be about me, since she called me her best friend on a lot of posts. She said that she thought I should know what she was saying about me because they were so bad, and if they weren't actually about me then she was sorry for sending them. I thanked her and promised to keep her anonymity so the girl wouldn't get kicked out of the group. Then I sent screenshots to my friend and said this friendship is over. Apostrophe. Good for you, mate. Yeah. I actually am happier without her around. Though I never noticed some of the negative aspects that she brought to the friendship until we weren't friends. So it's been really good. When I realized how ashamed she made me feel about myself, looking back, I think she projected her insecurities onto me because it is what her family did to her. When I decided to be more open about who I was and what I believed in, she ghosted me. It's crazy how people can project so effectively. I had a friend like this who was constantly telling me in subtle and overt ways how I was inferior to her in every way. Years later, long after having cut her out, I see how jealous she was. How much she needed to belittle me to cope with the fact that I had a loving family and strong belief in myself, while she did not. I honestly feel sorry for her, because she had a very loyal friend who loved her, but her own dark pain pushed me away. when he spent 15 minutes pressuring me to take shots after I was diagnosed with liver disease. God, that shit makes me angry. Whether you've got a medical reason or you just don't want to drink, pressuring people to do that just makes you a massive asshole. Joke's on him. 10 years later he has liver problems. People can be so careless with their health. I hope your liver is doing good. I am. Eased off the booze and everything returned to normal after a while. I had this really close friend growing up. When we got to high school he started ignoring me. It started from small things, like not inviting me when the boys would go out and chill. Then towards the end of high school I started going through some real shit. Instead of being like a friend and talking to me about it, he totally distanced himself from me. Even heard about how he would talk shit behind my back. We'll never know what happened. When she started cancelling plans for silly reasons, not replying to my messages. However, whenever we hung out she was always on her phone. I know so many FKNPPL like this ugh /_. Sorry to hear that. It's just such a shame when it happens with a friend you feel very close to. Happened in my case because she got a boyfriend, which is fine. But it's still important to have friends and other commitments when being in a relationship. When they ghosted me as best man in my wedding, they've never reached out since. I found a new best friend that day. My husband's best man did that too. Haven't heard from him since. Luckily my brother-in-law and my sister's boyfriend stepped up to fill the vacancies and my husband still felt supported that day. WTF. So they're more like me. My brother took the role of best man after my best friend, who I know since I was 2 or so, didn't show up and later blamed me for not waking him up by calling him on the phone. Some people just suck and are not going to deliver when you need them, I guess. Glad you had someone to step in for you. When they tried their absolute best to get my GF to break up with me, I'm going to guess it was good old jealousy that they did that. I mean, she was in a solid relationship herself, so I wouldn't have thought so, but who knows. Crazy be crazy. Probably a Lily situation, where she didn't like your GF, so she wanted you to leave her. When she had an affair with my dad, causing my parents to divorce after 30+ years. Now they are married, and he has nothing to do with us, my sister and his 6 grandsons. That guy is gonna have some very miserable elderly years. When he blacked out and tried to murder me in my sleep. Then 5 years later, when I forgave him, he attacked and robbed me in front of my house after giving me a ride home. Fool me once. Your former friend sounds like Roger from American Dad. Francine, I haven't been entirely truthful with you. When I realized that I was the worst person when I was around him, he was very good at convincing you to do really shitty things, and I let it go way too far before I realized that. Luckily I did eventually and completely cut him out of my life. Same. Only girls. Fun people. At first. When she started trying to make me stop talking to all of my other friends because she didn't have any other friends and thought I had to be isolated too. I stopped doing drugs. Makes you begin to see the company you keep in a fresh light. One day after 13 years of friendship he just blocked me everywhere and refused to tell me why. Then he began to indirectly insult me in online groups we both were in. Didn't say my name, but it was obvious he meant me. I honestly should have broken that friendship off long ago. He used to really bully me back in school. After school things got better though, and I thought he changed. To this day I have no idea what happened there. If there was just a misunderstanding or I did something wrong I didn't realize. Doesn't matter since after it, he showed his true colors. Someone might have said something true or untrue about you to him. Don't know anyone who could have done so. When I found a list of their friends and there was a question mark next to my name. People do this? Question mark? Question mark? Apparently so. It's been 10 years, and I still remember that shit, like it was yesterday. It hurt me really deep, because that was the one person I trusted more than anyone else. She never knew I saw what she wrote. I just slowly distanced myself from her as time went on because of it. Even as a kid, I knew if she was questioning our friendship then, she'd only continue to do so. So I removed myself from the situation. When she called me a slut after I got my boyfriend and proceeded to tell me I was going to hell, She's such a bitch. Understatement of the year. The moment they got a girlfriend. I don't know why people get so egotistical after that. Mr. Garrison said it best when he said, "Don't ever let poontang get between you and your friends." We had a fight and didn't speak for a week. Then they threatened me over something incredibly stupid. I was after we stopped being friends that I realized they were never really a friend to me. Our mutual friends were asking me if I was okay, and I was. I wondered why I was. And it was because the relationship with the ex-friend was all one-sided. I was there for them whenever they needed. I always did something for their birthday. And I always gave them money when they needed it. I can't recall a time when they did anything for me. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.